All right, go for it, girl.
Okay, so yes, I am Kate. I am the CEO of Team VC. Um, I actually am such a visual person, so I made a slideshow, and this is the first team call I've ever done. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm sure I'll be fine. So if I stutter, please don't mind me. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's see. And you guys, if you have never done this, do not be afraid to ever do it. Like it is good to make your hands sweaty. Like it's good. That was like my quote for this year is make your palms sweaty. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about being consistent because honestly, I think that is the biggest thing with this business is to be consistent and even for your life. So a little bit about me. I am also known as Coffee Fitness Mama. Nicole kind of talked about that. On Facebook, I am a part time hairstylist and a stay at home mom. So, what that means is actually during the day, I'm at home with my daughter, and then my husband comes home at 4:30 at night, and I leave for work to be there by 5. And sometimes I'm not home till 10:30 at night, and then I'm up again at 4:30. Like, you find the time to do this business. And yes, I'm home all day, but I also have a 2-year-old and sometimes I'm watching my nephew. Like you find the time. Some of my brands, which I think is very important to know more about your target audience. Again, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Hair, love Target, love me some Target. Food, I hate to say a recovering food addict because that makes it sound way worse than it ever was or is, but I love food and I struggled with that. And I am from Wisconsin. So I like the beer, I like the cheese, and I am in the cold. um, I have been with Beachbody actually for 6 years. So I started with T25 when it came out. A girl I went to beauty school with actually messaged me about it, and I had gotten engaged that Christmas. And that Christmas, I got T25. And so it was the first program I ever completed. That year, then, because I felt like I completed a program, I ran a half marathon and then I got married. And I had never ran more than 3 miles, and I did a half marathon that year. And I was consistent with the training and with this was before Portion Fix, so I was doing the whole macros and weighing, and I was obsessed with it, and I was consistent with it. And so that year I lost 30 pounds. I was actually a coach with that coach, just for the discount, not knowing that this was a business. And so I quit when we got married just because I didn't want to spend the money at the time on something. Anyways, but I then started, after I had my daughter, I started 80 Day Obsession. And I didn't have a coach at the time because, again, I quit and she never contacted me ever again. So keep that in mind. If someone quits, keep following up with them because that might just not be their time right now. That season of life is not working for them. So go back to them. But anyways, so I found Amy. So Nicole and Emmy, our coach, I found Amy and I just watched her. I like silently stalked her and I saw her do 80 day or almost do 80 day. And I did it and I quit day 29. And then I started again and I quit day 29. And so I realized I needed the community. And so I messaged her and I started Lift 4. And within a week, I was a coach again. So that's just where I'm at now. And so I've been a coach for a year and a half and I hit diamond. So I became a coach in August of 2018 and then I hit diamond January of 2019. So this past January. And I am actually doing 80 Day Obsession right now and I'm on day 50. It'll be 57 tomorrow. So I better finish it. Anyways, okay. So these are the 3 areas that you need to be consistent in: your health and fitness journey, mental health and goals, and your business. Okay, so your health and fitness journey. If you haven't completed a program, whether it be because you are a new coach, which I completely understand that you're new to this whole thing, you need to be focusing on completing a program and being consistent with that program, with the meal plan, with doing the measurements, for each phase or for each week that it requires you to do so. You need to be following a program to a T and being consistent with it. And if you haven't and you're 6 months into coaching, you need to check yourself, because if you aren't being consistent and you aren't finishing a program, why would someone join you? Why would they pick you over Emmy or Nicole, who has finished 3 programs? Why? So remember that. Use that as a driving force to show up every day at 5 a.m. or whatever time that works for you. Show up daily on social media. So I always am talking about what program I'm doing. I show in my stories like, hey, I'm on day 50, 56 of 80. And then if like today, I didn't work out today. Today's my rest day and I didn't do yoga. I just didn't today. But I did talk about my program that I'm doing today. And I talked about the meal plan and how I'm prepping for tomorrow. So you always want to be talking about your program that you're doing and showing how each day you can be bettering yourself. Your stories. So again, I show workout moves I'm doing, and I'm showing how fun it is. I use the Triller app, which if you haven't done that, do it. It is fun. I use the Triller app for my workouts, and I feel like that that makes it a little more fun and people want to see it, but it's also not showing every single move I'm doing, because you also don't want to be showing everything you're doing, because then why would they join you? They can see what you're doing and just repeat it. I also show my sweaty selfies. I think that's very important to do because it's showing that you're being consistent with your workouts and you're showing up every day. I have a certain schedule every day I work out. Yes, I'm home all day and I could work out while my daughter naps, but I choose not to. I choose to wake up at 4:30 every day. And actually, I kind of want to wake up earlier, but I just don't see it happening. And I'm working out by 5 a.m. And I have a workout buddy that we Zoom every morning together, just her and we consistently show up, and I show that on my stories. And then I show right after I have my shake. And people see that and they see that I'm making my liquid gold every morning. And when they see that, they want that product. So, they could sign up for the $99, get the year, or they could get the liquid gold for a little extra, but they see me use it and they see that's why I'm succeeding how I am, or that's how I've lost weight. Use Instagram and Facebook like a journal. I celebrate my highs and I share my lows. So, when I finished Morning Meltdown, that was a huge thing. That was a huge 100 workouts. That's a big goal, but someone might not be able to relate to that as much. So I will also share that I did a timed challenge, and instead of doing 15 burpees in 30 seconds or whatever, I did 18 this week. So share even those little goals. Or even today, I followed my meal plan to a T, and I haven't done that in a few days. Share them. Also share your lows. So I remember one day I actually shared how I would, before all of this, I would go to fast food restaurants, like after I was done working late at night when I was working 2 jobs, and I would get food and I would hide wrappers. I would hide those things from my husband, or like with my parents when I lived at home. Like I was so embarrassed by it, I would hide it. And so I found myself slipping into that at one point during a program, and I was following my meal plan to a T. But that night I just really wanted Taco Bell, and I shared that I went to Taco Bell. I got a quesadilla, and it was horrible. Like the cheese wasn't melted. It was not good. And I felt like it was God telling me I shouldn't have gotten a quesadilla. And I shared it with everyone. And I think you need to share your lows so that people can relate to you and know that you are human. Share your food and what recipes are working for you consistently. So I share at least once a week a recipe that I'm having on my meal plan and how I made it. And I think that gives them a little hint into what your challenge groups are like. If they're seeing that you're sharing one recipe, they're going to want to be a part of your group to see what else are you showing them. So for my groups, I actually do give them my meal plan every week and recipes that are in there. It's just a little thing I do, and I think that has helped immensely for them to understand the portion fix. That's what I follow. So if you're doing to be mindset, do that too. I don't know much about that one though. Tell and share your story about food. So like I said, I'm a food addict. I share that and I talk about that and I'm very open about that. You know what? I don't really want to be eating this apple. I'd rather have French fries right now. Like I share that. I'm horrible at water intake, horrible. And I share that. And then those days when I have my giant jug and it's timed and I'm at 3 p.m. for my water intake and it's only 11, like that's a big thing and they feel it. Share your product. I kind of talked about that already. Share that you're having your shake after you work out. That should be non-negotiable. You should be having these products. We want to be proof of the product. And I truly believe they have helped me and they have kept weight off. So like I said, Liquid Gold, they see it, Energize, they see it and they want it too. I actually have a coach. She is strictly a discount coach. She doesn't sell anything. She actually doesn't even do the workouts, but she gets Shakeology and she gets Energized because she does CrossFit. So don't ever discount someone that doesn't want to do the programs, but they want the product. Meal prep tips, I share those every week, every Sunday, and I think people wait for that because they know every Sunday I'm sharing it. And if you don't have time, even just putting a time lapse thing going that you're cutting up your vegetables. That's what I did tonight because we were kind of in a hurry. I would cut up vegetables, showed that it was so easy, put in a bag, done. And then I actually used to do this thing and I want to get back into it. But like I said, I'm learning as I go as well. I did live cooking with Kate, and I think actually my challengers really liked that. And I would go live and show them how to make a meal that was super easy in 15 minutes. And I was just showing them me, and I think they connected with me better seeing those things. When I am struggling with foods, like after Thanksgiving, I need to get back onto my meal plan. I shared everything I was eating. And I actually got this idea from Raina Odell. I think that's her name. She was at Super Weekend in Milwaukee. And she said she shares every single thing she's eating. And they have those gifts now. So you can put the containers like, oh, hey, this is a blue and this is a green. And it makes it pretty and it shows that you're following your meal plan and it helps you stay accountable. But she even talked about like, she had a Bloody Mary, like this massive Bloody Mary when she was in town. And she shared that. If it went on her lips, she shared it. Consistency is more important than perfection. So again, share the highs, share the lows. Your mental health. So personal development should be done every single day. This is a vital behavior that needs to be done. And I'm a huge Rachel Hollis fan. When she came on stage at Summit, I cried. Like I bawled. And I shared that I bawled. But I listened to her, read her other books. I'm reading the 10 Times Rule right now. You should be finding time every day, at least 15 minutes to be reading or listening to something. If you don't have the money, which I completely understand that, when I started, we were really tight and I was really watching what I was spending money on. Rachel Hollis actually, not to talk about her again, she has a podcast called Rise. I believe that's all that one. She has like 3 podcasts. She actually reads sections of her book and her podcasts. So there's no excuse. Like that's free. And you could even be listening to that over and over and over again. Library book, get a library card. They actually, I didn't know this till this year, they have Audible on there. So you can be listening to that on your way to your job or picking up your kids at school, any of that. Self-care. So every Sunday, I try to do a little self-care. And I think that's very important so that you don't become burnt out. And share that self-care. Like I just watched a movie with my daughter and snuggled her. That was a little self-care for me today. I painted my nails. I took a bubble bath. Whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better and so that you do not get burnt out, because you can get burnt out very quickly doing this. And maybe it's even just like not talking to anyone. Doing hair, I talk to people the whole time I'm there, and then I'm here and I'm talking to my phone, and sometimes it's just like okay to shut down. Like you need to do that. Writing down your goals. So again, back to Rachel Hollis, but she has a thing that you don't necessarily need to buy, but it's writing 10 goals as if they've already happened. And that can be something in your business, something in your life. And she does it every single day. And I find when I do that, or when I get out of the habit of doing that, I see like a decrease in my how much I believe in myself. And I feel like I'm kind of going in all directions. Like I don't know what I should be focusing on right now. So I think that's very important to do. And it's the same 10 goals. And once they've happened, then you can move on. But some goals don't need to be done or need to be finished ever. Like for one, it's I am an exceptional wife. Every day I strive to be an exceptional wife. Affirmations, which actually this is a good one with Barlin coming out. You should be saying affirmations every day. So even talking to actually my daughter, I took her in to get her 2-year-old shots, 2-year shots last week. And it's something I say to her, and I'm like, you're going to be strong. You're going to be, you're not going to cry. You're going to be a big girl. Like that's something you say. And so actually when I was shooting for Diamond in January, I was a part of a push group, and someone in there, every day there was training, and someone in there said, you need to be saying every day, I am a diamond coach, and you write it on a Post-it, and you write it on a mirror. Like you just need to see it. And actually I felt like that really helped me, because I then did every day the things you needed to do that diamond coaches do. I did my reach outs. I invited every single day. I showed up on social media every single day. And I think that really helped get that going. You need to separate your work and your family time. And be consistent with that. Like this is the time you should be off your phone. You should be, focusing on your husband, your spouse, your kids, or even just you time, your friend time. I've actually become more conscious about when I'm around my sister. She called me out on it once. And even my friends, I'm not on my phone when I'm around them. And I think that helps not make it so that you don't burn out. Persistence will get you there. Consistency will keep you there. Your business. So I capitalized your because this is your business. This is no one else's business but your own. So you need to do the work in order for you to see it to grow. So that should be, you're doing either, whether it be the Win the Week tracker or checklist. If you haven't seen it, it's actually on the Happy, Healthy, Humble Coaches page. Just type in and search Win the Week. Or the business activity tracker. I don't know if you want me to say this, but I actually don't like the bat. I just feel like it tells you how many minutes you should be doing everything, and I don't really like that because I work in chunks of time. But I do like the Win the Week because it does kind of break it down that you should be doing these. It's the 4 vital behaviors, and I just feel like if you're checking off those things, at least you're doing something. Where I felt like the business activity tracker app, it wasn't doing it for me. So I like this one, and you can even have a group going. That's something I'm actually kind of dabbling with, is if I want a group like accountability where we check in every night with how far we have our Win the Week tracker going. You could do that with your own team. You could have a buy-in for it. I've seen that be done. Whatever works, but you just need to be consistent, because I know Kate Schultes, love her so much. If you don't know who she is, follow her. But she has talked about how she sent out, like, however many lines there are on a paper. She would send that many invites out a day. That's good for her, but I'm not going to be doing that. Like that would burn me out. And maybe I could work up to that one day, but for me right now, that's not what I can do. So doing 5 a day, if you aren't doing any, at least do 5 a day. At least you're doing 5. That's 5 more than you did yesterday. And just show up every single day doing that. Do 5 invites to a challenge group. Do 1 invite for a coach sneak peek or to be a coach, and then do reach outs. Like just find more followers. And if you feel like you're low on how many followers you have, then maybe you should be focusing on reach outs a little more so that you're building your following. But you need to be doing it consistently. So whatever you feel like you can do every day, do that. Social media, back to that, show up every day. People want to see your face. Like, don't just show that you're working out and your food. Like, show your life. It might be boring to you that you're like binging Grey's Anatomy right now, but there are people that love Grey's Anatomy, and those are the people that will follow you, and those are your people. So share that. Like, I share a lot with my daughter, and I'm finding I'm getting more new moms that are following me, or hairstylists, or people that are struggling with their hair, because they follow me for that reason, because I'm sharing those things. National Wake Up Call, team calls, those are non-negotiable. You should be listening to those. There's no excuse. Podcasts, the National Wake Up Call's on a podcast, so every Monday, if I haven't caught it, I'm listening to it in the car on my way to work. There's no excuse. And that will get you all the information you need to know about the coming month for Beachbody products, and just a little training in there. And actually, I remember listening to a call, in case you missed this, that a girl said, this is kind of like an affirmation thing. She envisioned at 5 stars, their listing names, she envisioned her name being called, or 15 star. She envisioned that, and it just made her work a little harder. So I used to skip over that. I used to skip over the recognition. Now I don't. Team calls between your amazing coaches that are hosting this team call, and Happy, Healthy, Humble, and Team Fight to Finish. There are so many calls, but you should be listening to them because there's a reason for them, and they're all on replay. So again, do it. When I was actually trying to hit diamond, like I said, they did trainings every day, and I felt like that really helped me. There are so many different trainings for you. There's YouTube. Listen. If you can listen to one a day, that's great. If you can't, then do one every other day. But it does help you and drive you more. Your challenger and check-ins, or in coach check-ins. Every Sunday, I check in with my girls. Every single Sunday. And if I don't, so actually this past Sunday, like Nicole said, I'm opening my own business. And so I was just I was kind of stressed. I completely forgot, and I didn't check in with them. And come Wednesday, I had a few girls be like, hey, you didn't check in with me. I'm doing okay, and I'm doing great, but I need a little help. And I felt horrible. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot. I just completely spaced. So you need to be doing that, because they will rely on you. And I don't know how many times I've heard from people that have reached out to me, like, I want to be on your team. I want you to be my coach, but I'm using Beachbody right now. And I have to ask them, do you have a coach? Like, or did you just sign up? And they'll say, I have a coach, but she doesn't contact me. And that is so hard to hear. And you don't want to be that coach. You don't want to be that coach that doesn't care about their challengers, that you just take the money and run. That is not what this is about. And I feel like Happy, Healthy, Humble, we're pretty good with speaking about that, but you don't want to be known as that person. You want to be reaching out. And I'd rather be annoying and reaching out to someone that has paid me money than not message them and think that I don't care. If they signed up and then all of a sudden they don't want to do it anymore, that is not on you. That is on them. So just make sure you're checking in with them. That's so important. And whether you use Google Streak, that's what the little logo is right here, or you use Messenger. So Google Streak's so easy. There's, I think Amanda Heidenreich has a video, a training call about it. You can do that. Or honestly, for me, I use Messenger, and I just go through each group I have and look at what are my girls, because I run it with my coaches too, and I just message them. And it honestly, it could be tedious, but it takes me 20 minutes. And then all Sunday, I am answering their messages back. You should be talking about Super Weekends and Summit. Those are such a connection between coaches and really get you going with these workouts, that you should be talking about them and going to them. You know them so far in advance. You should be taking off work. You should be going and showing the experience. I have met my very first Super Weekend. I went last April. So it took me a couple months to go because I didn't have any coaches to go with me and I was scared. Go anyways. I met these 2 amazing girls and we're friends now on Instagram and we talk about coaching still. And I just shared, and I was consistent about sharing about the next super weekend. And then I had girls wanting to sign up and become a coach just so they could go to super weekend, which I guess challengers can go too. I didn't know that. But at the time, I thought it was just coaches. So they wanted to join just to go to super weekend. And same with Summit. Once I came home from Summit, because I shared so much about it, people were like, I want to do this. I want to do what you're doing. I don't know if I want to become a coach, but I want to do what you're doing because you just are so inspiring. And then later they want to become a coach because they want to come to Summit next year. So just keep sharing and be obnoxious about it, as dumb as it sounds. But there's a new person following you every single day, hopefully, and they didn't see yesterday. They didn't see 2 weeks ago what you were doing. So I hope that helps. But remember, this is your baby. This is no one else's business but your own. So you need to be consistent in showing up each day for your health and for your business. So if there's any questions, I am more than willing, but I'll end, and you don't have to be extreme. You just have to be consistent. Well, there's that. And I didn't read any of the chat, so I don't know what's being said. But
that was awesome, Kate. I absolutely love that, especially all the like little quotes in between everything and how
I love quotes.
Focused on consistency. It was the best. So, like she said, if you guys have any questions, just drop them in the chat. And she said she would be more than happy to answer them. I don't think we had any questions while you were talking. Or if you have a long question, you can just unmute yourself. We have a smaller group tonight, so.
What is one of the biggest tips for keeping challengers engaged in your boot camps? Oh, changing it up. Honestly, keep changing it up. Have theme days. I have a morning post every day. If you are doing, actually right now I'm changing it up and I'm doing a win the month or something. That's actually, I think Nicole's doing it too. But I every morning would have a post. Oh, sorry guys. I would have a post and then they would check in. And I would ask them too. I was like, how accountable do you want me to hold you? And I will call you out. If you're not working out, I will call you out. So I use Facebook. I don't know if that matters. I use Facebook instead of my challenge tracker. I honestly think I was very blessed with some of the girls I've gotten because they've showed up, and then it helps ignite other girls to show up. And if they're not, just message them and say, hey, what can I do for you? And it could be just as easy as, I'm not really liking this program. What should I do? And then you can direct them from there. Can you share how you were able to hit SC quickly in December? Such a hard month usually. So that's actually, I hit SC5 my first 4 months, whatever is August through November last year. And then December, it is a hard month. Everyone's spending money elsewhere. I knew it was going to be a hard month because I missed it last year. So I hit I think I hit SC8 in November, and I just really, that last week, just really hit it hard, messaging people, seeing who was interested. And then I think it was December 2nd, I hit SC8, and I like sent out whatever I needed to. I think it honestly just helps being consistent and asking people, okay, it's not this time right now for you. When would be a good time for you? Is there a certain program that you're wanting to see? And then I will message you when that happens. Like, what can I do for you to join me? Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you're doing well, if you're reaching out the last week of the month, then hitting SC the first week of the next month is like cakewalk, but you have to be doing the work leading up to the next month. So
yes, and don't lay off the gas. Like, keep going. Like, I've already hit SC8, but I'm trying for SC10. But then everyone you talk to, it then, no matter, it's planting a seed. If they say no, at least you're planting a seed. And they might say yes the next month, but it's setting yourself up for success later on.
So good, Kate. So good.
And same with Diamond. I know I heard so many people say, like, don't lay off the gas after you hit Diamond. And I did. And I fully regret that. Like, I regret that so much. I kind of took a break for 2 months and I was like, oh my God, I worked so hard. But no, don't stop. Don't stop. Once you just keep going, because your girls feel that, your coaches feel that, your challengers feel that. So they thrive off your energy. Yeah.
Anyone else have any other questions? No? How do I take a screenshot on my computer?
I have no idea.
Take a picture. I think
Is it a Mac?
Yeah.
It's Command-Shift-4, I think.
Oh, wow.
I think that
I work on computers all day.
Okay.
that's just it gives me this little.
Yeah, and then you drag it. So like if
I have
you
to drag
basically put it in the corner of your screen and then like drag it to where you want it to take a picture to.
Okay. All right. Everyone smile. We're going to try this. Okay. I think I got it.
I heard it.
Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, Kate, thanks so much for hopping on and speaking to our teams. Literally, you're amazing. If you guys don't follow Kate already, follow her. Her energy is infectious and so inspiring. One thing that she shares also on her stories that she didn't touch on today is her and her husband are trying for baby number 2. And it's it's not easy. You know, it's something that's very vulnerable to her. And so I think that's so inspiring too. So thank you, Kate, for sharing. And I hope you all have a great night. And I will post this on our team pages. So happy Sunday.